So just like part one, I'm going to talk about some of the most common questions and concerns and misconceptions about part two of the IELTS speaking test. Probably the number one most common concern is, what if I know nothing? What if I have no idea? I have no experience. I have no knowledge about this topic. Let's imagine that you are not a sporty person. You don't enjoy playing sports, doing exercise, and you don't enjoy swimming or being in the water. And now, let's imagine that the examiner gives you a cue card asking you to describe a water sport that you want to try. So in this situation, it's easy to think, oh God, I have no idea. When the examiner gives you the card, the clock starts ticking. Your 60 seconds starts. And if you waste time and your notepad is empty, it's easy to panic, go off the rails. In this situation, the best way to stay calm is to focus on what you do know about the topic. The IELTS test is a language test. It's not about your ideas, your experience, or your knowledge. It's only about the language. So in this situation, I'm sure you would know something about at least one water sport. Jet skiing, water skiing, parasailing, kite surfing, scuba diving. There are so many. All you have to do is share anything you know about one or more water sports. Anything you can share is useful. Anything you say contributes to your score. You have to show the examiner what you know, what English you know to describe this sport, and it all helps. So if you're in a situation where you feel like you have no idea what to say, just share anything related to the topic and it's right. So based on that advice, a lot of students then ask me, doesn't that mean I'm going off topic? If I go off topic and talk about something different from the cue card, isn't that bad? Isn't there a penalty? Don't I lose points? And the fact is, that's not true. Nothing in the IELTS speaking criteria talks about going off topic. We actually talked about this in part one of the video. It was task achievement, which is a misconception. That's in the writing. It's not in the speaking. So going off topic is actually not possible. What you can do instead is to talk about any related information or details you know about the topic. So if the topic was sports, here is a list of extra information you could share. You could talk about the first or the last time that you played a sport. You could talk about the clothes or the equipment that you need. You could talk about where, how often and when you do it. You could even talk about someone else who does it. You don't have to talk about yourself. You can talk about another person who plays that sport. You could talk about the rules. You could talk about how you feel and your opinion when you play it. Even if these details are not on the cue card, they're still relevant because they're related to the topic. That means that you can't go off topic as long as you share any related detail to the topic. So this makes part two much less scary because you realize now that you can share almost anything related to that cue card and it's okay. There's no penalty, there's no punishment. You won't lose any marks. All you have to do is share what you do know. That being said, if you try and completely change the topic, for example, if your cue card was about sports and you said, I don't like sports, but I do like movies, and my favorite film is blah blah blah. If you talked about a film for 2 minutes, then that's bad. Then you would not score anything for that answer. So while you can't change the topic completely, You are free to share any related information about it that you like, and it's all helpful. It all contributes to your score. So don't worry about going off topic. Off topic is a myth. It's not true. So just feel free to share anything you can about part 2 and the cue card, and it makes part 2 much less scary and much easier too.